हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। तो आज की वीडियो में हम देखने वाले हैं एनसीईआरटी इकोनॉमिक्स का टेस्ट सीरीज़, जिसमें आज हम देखेंगे सेट 6। तो शुरू करते हैं हमारा आज का टेस्ट सीरीज़। तो हमारा फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन है, कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स। हाईवे डेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट कनेक्टिंग दिल्ली, पुणे, चेन्नई एंड कोलकाता. North-South corridor, which comprises 4 laning of national highway connecting Srinagar to Kanyakumari via Cochin, Salem. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी, ओनली 2. North-South corridor, which comprises 4 laning of national highways connecting Srinagar to Kanyakumari via Cochin, Salem. Consider the following statements. Cochin shipyard is the largest shipyard in the country. Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers Limited is a mini Ratna company. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, बोथ 1 and 2. Cochin shipyard is the largest shipyard in the country and Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers Limited is a mini Ratna company. Consider the following statement about agencies responsible for development and maintenance of the National Highways system in India. National Highways Authority of India, State Public Works Department, Border Road Organization. Which of the above agencies are participated in carrying out development and maintenance work of national highways? इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, 1, 2 and 3. National Highways Authority of India, State Public Works Department and Border Roads Organization. Consider the following statement. Life Insurance Corporation of India is the oldest insurance company in India. National Insurance Company Limited was nationalized in the year 1972 and made a subsidiary of General Insurance Corporation of India. Headquarters of United India Insurance Company Limited are located at Chennai. Which one of the statements is or correct? तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, 2 and 3. National Insurance Company Limited was nationalized in the year 1972 and made a subsidiary of General Insurance Corporation of India, and headquarters of United India Insurance Company Limited are located at Chennai. What is the meaning of transfer payment? It refers to the payments made for which there is no good produced or service provided in return. It is a type of treasury bill. It is a method of transfer of money in the banking system. None of the above. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, इट रेफर्स टू द पेमेंट मेड फॉर व्हिच देयर इज नो गुड्स प्रोड्यूस्ड और सर्विसेज प्रोवाइडेड इन रिटर्न. If the GDP is measured at the price of a base year, then it is called current price, market price, constant price, none of the above. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, constant price. Consider the following. GDP is essentially about who produces. GNP is essentially about where production takes place. Which of the given statement is or are correct? इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी, neither 1 nor 2. Consider the following statement. A base year is the year used only for comparison for the level of a particular economic index, and hence it is used to determine inflation. A base effect can make it difficult to accurately assess inflation levels over time, and the base effect wears off over time if inflation levels are relatively constant. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, बोथ 1 and 2. What are the factors determining national income of a country? Quality and quantity of factors of production, the extent of technical know-how and technology in the production, political stability. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी, 2 and 3. The extent of technical know-how and technology in production and political stability. In economic terminology, the final production of goods and services valued at market price during year of a nation is known as gross domestic product, gross national product, national income, net national product. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी, gross national product. Net domestic product has always been less than the gross domestic product. This is so because Capital equipment undergoes wear and tear. Disguised unemployment does not contribute to gross domestic product. Capital imports cannot be totally dispensed with. Capital output ratio in the domestic economy has been low. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, कैपिटल इक्विपमेंट undergoes wear and tear. The price stabilization fund will support the procurement of onion, groundnut, potato, rice. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी, 1 and 3 only, onion and potato. Which among the following is or are characters of dual economy? Existence of agriculture and industry, existence of commercial agriculture with subsistence farming, modern industry and commercial agriculture with subsistence farming and traditional handicraft. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी, A, B and C. Existence of agriculture and industry, existence of commercial agriculture with subsistence farming, and modern industry and commercial agriculture with subsistence farming and traditional handicraft. The growth of GDP depends on productivity of investment, level of investment, incremental capital output ratio. Choose the correct one. तो इसका आंसर है D, all 1, 2, 3. Productivity of investment, level of investment, and incremental capital output ratio. The main functions of National Development Council include to give suggestion in order to achieve the determined goal and achieve maximum cooperation of the people, to approve the plan prepared by the Planning Commission. Choose the correct one. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, both 1 and 2. Consider the following statements about 12th 5-year plan goals. Clean all the critically polluted rivers by 2020. Set up an autonomous body named National Environment Assessment and Monitoring Authority for E14 coastal zone regulations and marine fisheries regulation. Which of the above statements is or are correct? इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, both 1 and 2. Which of the following are the advantages of economic planning? It helps to create and eliminate regional imbalances by focusing attention on the needs of backward areas. It promotes coordination between the different sectors of the economy. It is the only reliable way in which the state can try to remove economic disparities and establish an egalitarian society free of social and political tension. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, 1, 2 and 3. The Gadgil formula for transfer of resources from the center to the states was used for the first time in 3rd 5-year plan, 4th 5-year plan, 5th 5-year plan, 6th 5-year plan. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी, 4th 5-year plan. Consider the following taxes: corporation tax, customs duty, wealth tax, excise duty. Which of these is or are indirect taxes? इसका आंसर ऑप्शन सी, 2 and 4, custom duty and excise duty. Non-plan expenditure includes expenditure on interest payment, defense, maintenance expenditure. Choose the correct one. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी, all 1, 2 and 3, expenditure on interest payment, defense and maintenance expenditure. Consider the following regarding the concept of Engel's law. It states that as income rises, the proportion of income spent on food falls. According to this law, smaller a person's income, the greater the proportion of it that he will spend on food, and vice versa. Choose the correct one. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, both 1 and 2. Primary deficit is equal to difference between the fiscal deficit and the interest payments, difference between budget deficit and the interest payments, difference between monetized deficit and the interest payments, none of the above. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, differences between the fiscal deficit and the interest payments. Consider the following statements. States have exclusive power to tax sales and purchases of goods other than newspapers. Central government has exclusive power to tax sales and purchase of goods in the course of interstate. Which of the above statements is or are correct? तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, बोथ 1 and 2. Which of the following are not included in the functions of the Department of Financial Services under the Ministry of Finance? Administering government policies having a bearing on the working of banks and the term lending financial institutions. Matters relating to industrial sickness and miscellaneous issues of coordination between industry, banks, and financial institutions. Policy matters relating to private banks, foreign banks, and non-banking financial companies. तो इसमें नॉट इंक्लूडेड पूछा है, तो इसका आंसर होगा डी, नन ऑफ द अबव. Recently, the term double taxation was very common in the news. Consider the following statements regarding double taxation. The Indian government has entered into tax treaties known as Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement. Relief against double taxation is provided in two ways: unilateral relief and bilateral relief. Exemption method and tax credit method are methods of unilateral relief. Of these statements, option C, 1 and 2 are correct. Consider the following statements. Vote on account deals only with the expenditure side of the government's budget. Interim budget does not give the complete financial statement like a full budget. Most of the above statements either are correct regarding this answer option A, 1 only. Vote on account deals only with the expenditure side of the government's budget. Which one of the following would be considered an example of a dirty subsidy? Subsidy on diesel, money spent on total sanitation program, subsidy provided to households above the poverty line, midday meals program. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, सब्सिडी ऑन डीजल. The term unemployment refers to number of unemployed people divided by total population, number of unemployed people divided by labor force, number of unemployed people divided by workforce, number of unemployment people divided population under 60 years. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी, number of unemployed people divided by labor force. Which of the following is incorrect about census in India? In modern period, first census was conducted in 1872 by Lord Mayo, but it was incomplete. Census is conducted under Census Act 1948 by a Registrar General and Census Commissioner of India, who is appointed by the central government. The Census Commissioner Office functions under the Ministry of Human Resources. In the census 2011, the government decided to prepare NPR, National Population Register also. इसका है आंसर ऑप्शन सी. इसमें इनकरेक्ट पूछा था, तो इसका आंसर ऑप्शन सी. द सेंसस कमीशन ऑफिस फंक्शंस अंडर द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ ह्यूमन अफेयर्स. स्टेटमेंट गलत है. Which of the following states has minimum life expectancy at birth? बिहार, उत्तर प्रदेश, मध्य प्रदेश, झारखंड. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, मध्य प्रदेश. Which of the following are not true about gender inequality index? It captures the loss in achievement due to gender disparities in the areas of reproductive health, empowerment, and labor force participation. The value 0 in this index indicates perfectly equality, while 1 is total inequality. Which of the correct statements, correct answer? Select the correct answer using the codes given below. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी, neither one nor two. Consider the following statements. Census is the subject of union list and is carried on a demand basis, but it is the responsibility of the state government to provide necessary workforce to the census commissioner for the census purpose. Registration of the birth and death is the subject of concurrent list, which is done under the system registration system under the administration control of the Office of Registrar General and Census Commission of India. Which of the statements given above is are correct? This answer is option C, both 1 and 2. Consider the following statement. STI is broadly an average of social aggregates or average of longevity, knowledge, and access to resources. The average of life expectancy index, education attainment, and student living index is known as Human Development Index. Which of the above statements is or are correct? This answer is option C, both 1 and 2. Open market operation of RBI does not include buying of securities from the market, selling of securities in the market, both, none of the above. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, बोथ. In recent months, the term quantitative easing frequently appears in newspapers. Which of the following are true about such term? It aims at reviving consumer spending and economic growth. It involves cut down of interest rate by central bank. It may also involve selling of common securities by central bank. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, 1 and 2 only. Consider the following. The more the CRR, the less the money available for lending by the banks to player in the economy. In a regime of moderate inflation, high CRR is in place. Which of the statements is or are correct? इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, only 1. The more the CRR, the less the money available for lending by the banks to the players in the economy. In terms of economic trade, sensitive items refers to defense and security related products, drugs and narcotics, goods which are essentially required as these are not produced domestically, goods the imports of which will negatively impact the domestic manufacturers. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, डिफेंस एंड सिक्योरिटी रिलेटेड प्रोडक्ट्स. The Self-Help Group Bank Linkage Program has been emerged as the major microfinance program in the country. It is being implemented by commercial banks, regional rural banks, cooperative banks. Choose the correct one. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, all 1, 2 and 3. Commercial banks, regional rural banks and cooperative banks. Match list 1 and list 2 and select the correct code. लिस्ट 1 में है लीड बैंक स्कीम, सर्विस एरिया अप्रोच, लोकल एरिया बैंक, रीजनल बैंक्स. लिस्ट 2 में है ए पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक एक्ट्स एज ए कंसोर्टियम लीडर टू कोऑर्डिनेट डेवलपमेंटल एक्टिविटीज इन ए डिस्ट्रिक्ट. Private local banks with jurisdiction over 2 or 3 contiguous districts to meet the needs of weaker section of rural population with small and marginal. All rural and semi-urban branches of banks are to provide credit availability and overall development to cluster of villages. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. तो इसका आंसर देखते हैं. ए का होगा 1, बी का होगा 4, सर्विस एरिया अप्रोच का होगा 4, लोकल एरिया बैंक का होगा 2 और रीजनल बैंक्स का होगा 3. तो इस हिसाब से हमारा आंसर होगा ऑप्शन सी A1, B4, C2, D3. Which of the following is or are the functions of RBI? Banker and debt manager to central government. It issues new currencies from time to time. It acts as banker's bank for scheduled banks. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. इसका आंसर होगा B, 2 and 3 only. It issues new currencies from time to time and it acts as banker's bank for scheduled banks. NABARD is an apex institution accredited with all matters concerning policy, planning and operations in the field of credit for agriculture and other economic activities in rural areas. Is an apex refinancing agency for the institution providing investment and production credit for promoting the various developmental activities in rural area. Takes measures towards institutions building for improving absorptive capacity of the credit delivery system, including monitoring, formulation of rehabilitation schemes, restructuring of credit institution, training of personnel, etc. Coordinates the rural financing activities of all the institutions engaged in developmental work at the field level and maintains liaison with Government of India, state governments, Reserve Bank of India and other national level institutions concerned with policy formulation. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी 1, 2, 3 and 4. Consider the following statements with regard to statutory liquidity ratio. To meet SLR, commercial banks can use cash only. SLR is maintained by the banks with themselves. SLR restricts the bank's leverage in pumping more money into the economy. Which one of these statements is or are correct? इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी 2 and 3. SLR is maintained by the bank with themselves and SLR restricts the bank's leverage in pumping more money into the economy. Financial is a core banking term associated with pragmatic difficulties arising out of a situation where excessive customer base development clubbed with lack of proportionate staff support, over dependence of a country on the World Bank and other international monetary institutions for all planned expenditure. A situation where banks lead to a liquidation stage due to general recessive nature of an economy of the country where it has its base. None of the above. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी, none of the above. Which of the following best describes insider trading? Share trading by promoters of a company, domestic selling of goods by SEZs established for export promotion, secret and clandestine trade by smugglers, share trading by people who have confidential information about the company. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी, शेयर ट्रेडिंग बाय द पीपल हु हैव confidential information about the company. Which of the following insurance companies is not the subsidiary of the Central Insurance Company of India? National Insurance Company Limited, New India Assurance Company Limited, Oriental Insurance Company Limited, Life Insurance Corporation of India Limited. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी, लाइफ इंश्योरेंस कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया लिमिटेड जनरल इंश्योरेंस कंपनी ऑफ इंडिया के सब्सिडरी नहीं है. The acronym SRO being used in the capital market for various market participants stands for which one of the following? Self-regulatory organization, small revenue operators, securities rollback operators, securities regulatory organization. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, सेल्फ रेगुलेटरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. The WTO follows the principle of self-selection. This means countries decide to which agreement they want to be party. Countries decide the rate of tariff and tariff reduction. Countries themselves decide whether they want to be in developed or developing categories. None of the above. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी. Countries themselves decide whether they want to be in developed or developing categories. Consider the following statements about the Indian capital market. Primary market in India is mainly dealt in the new issues and debentures. Primary market in India is supervised by the Insurance Regulatory Development Authority. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए ओनली वन. Primary market in India is mainly dealt in the new issues and debentures. Which one of the following is correct about the LIBOR in the international capital market? It is the average interest rate estimated by leading banks in London. It is the mechanism of calculation of the interest subvention given to loans in the international market. It is the credit given to the oil importers in the world petroleum market. All the above. This answer is option A. It is the average interest rate estimated by leading banks in London. How do we define the terms bull and bear with regard to stock markets? A bull is an optimistic operator who first buys and then sells shares in expectation of the price going up. A bear is a pessimistic market operator who sells the share in expectation of buying them back at a lower price. There is nothing insignificantly different as both operate in the capital market. Bull is one who first sells a share and then buys it at a lower price. Bear means one who first buys and then sells it in expectation of price going up. A bull is ready to buy any share. A bear only deals in government securities. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए जो कि है ए बुल इज एन ऑप्टिमिस्टिक ऑपरेटर हु फर्स्ट बायस एंड देन सेल्स शेयर्स इन एक्सपेक्टेशन ऑफ द प्राइस गोइंग अप. ए बेयर इज ए pessimistic market operator who sells the share in expectation of buying them back at a lower price. Which one of the following statements is not correct? The National Association of Securities Dealers automated quotation known as NASDAQ is an American stock exchange. Nikkei is the stock market index for the Tokyo Stock Exchange. S&P CNX Nifty is the index for 50 large companies on the Bombay Stock Exchange. Hang Seng indices record daily changes of the largest companies of the Hong Kong stock market. तो इसका आंसर है इसमें नॉट करेक्ट पूछा है तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी. S&P CNX निफ्टी इज द इंडेक्स फॉर 50 लार्ज कंपनीज ऑन द बॉम्बे स्टॉक एक्सचेंज. ये स्टेटमेंट गलत है. कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स. इंडियाज करंट अकाउंट हैज़ बीन नेगेटिव इन मोस्ट ऑफ द ईयर्स. India's foreign exchange reserves are increasing due to surplus in capital account. Which of the statements is or are correct? इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी बोथ 1 and 2. With reference to foreign portfolio investment, consider the following statements. FPIs are more volatile than loans from international financial institutions. Foreign direct investment are part of FPIs. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए 1 only. FPIs are more volatile than loans from international financial institution. The term narrow banking is best described as banks acting only as payment banks, banks by non-banking financial companies, limited areas of operation by banks, banks lending only to risk-free sectors. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी बैंक्स lending only to risk-free sectors. Consider the following. There are 5 statutory commodity boards under the Department of Commerce. These boards are responsible for production, development and export of tea, coffee, rubber, spices and tobacco. Which of these statements is or are correct? तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी बोथ 1 and 2. India has trade surplus with US, UAE, Singapore, China. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी 1 and 3 US and Singapore. Which of the following statements correctly express the difference between FII and FDI? FII helps bring better management skills and technology, while FDI only brings in capital. FDI flows only into the secondary markets, while FII targets primary market. FII is considered to be more stable than FDI. None of the above. Please consider option D, none of the above. Which of the following is the main component of foreign exchange reserves? Foreign currency assets, gold, special drawing rights, reserve transposition. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, foreign currency asset. Consider the following statements regarding offshore banking unit. Offshore banking unit is the branch of an Indian bank located in a special economic zone with a special set of rules aimed at facilitating exports from the region. An OBU can accept foreign currency for business but not domestic deposits from local residents. In 2000, RBI instituted OBUs. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, 1 and 2 are correct. A country is said to be in a debt trap if it has to abide by the conditionality imposed by the International Monetary Fund. It has to borrow to make interest payments on outstanding loans. It has been refused loans or aid by creditors abroad. The World Bank charges a very high rate of interest on outstanding as well as new loans. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी, it has to borrow to make interest payments on outstanding loans. If indirect taxes in an economy are increased, then which of the following can occur? GDP at factor cost increases, GDP at factor cost decreases, GDP at market price increases, GDP at market price decreases. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, 3 only. GDP at market price increases. Which of the following is or are correct about Pradhan Mantri Swasthya Suraksha Yojana? It aimed at correcting the regional imbalances in the availability of affordable healthcare facilities. It involves construction of new aims like institutions. Under this program, there is no provision to undertake upgradation of existing medical college institution. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. This answer is option A, 1 and 2 only. Which of the following is correct about Rajiv Gandhi scheme for empowerment of adolescent girls? It covers girls in the age group of 11 to 18 years. Non-nutritional services like health checkup, health education, counseling and family welfare are not provided under this scheme. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, 1 only. It covers girls in the age group of 11 to 18 years. Which of the following is not an objective of the Rajiv Gandhi Gramin Vidyutkaran Yojana for rural electricity infrastructure and household electrification? Creation of rural electricity distribution backbone, creation of village electricity infrastructure, provision of free electricity to village clubs and libraries, electrification of all unelectrified BPL household. तो इसमें नॉट एन ऑब्जेक्टिव पूछा है, तो इसका आंसर होगा ऑप्शन सी, प्रोविजन ऑफ फ्री इलेक्ट्रिसिटी टू विलेज क्लब्स एंड लाइब्रेरीज, ये इंक्लूडेड नहीं है. Which one of the following statements is correct about the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana? It provides connectivity to all the unconnected habitations of more than 1,000 persons in the rural areas by good quality all-weather roads. It was launched in 2005 as a fully funded central sponsored scheme. It provides connectivity to all unconnected habitation of more than 250 persons in the hilly and desert area by good quality all-weather roads, both A and C. This answer is option C. It provides connectivity to all unconnected habitation of more than 250 persons in the hilly and desert areas by good quality all-weather roads. Equity market instruments help in financing a farm. Which of these is or are equity market instruments? Bonds, shares, debentures. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. This answer is option B, 2 only, shares. What was the reason of failure of land reform in India? Lack of political willpower, problem at implement level, poor land records. Choose the correct one. This answer is option D, all 1, 2 and 3. Lack of political willpower, problem at implement level and poor land records. Which among the following is the largest food grain producing states of India? Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए उत्तर प्रदेश. Kharif crop is sown in July and harvested in October. Sown in October and harvested in March. Sown in March and harvested in July. Sown in September and harvested in February. Sown in July and harvested in October. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए sown in July and harvested in October. Which of the following is or are the strategies to control inflation? Rationalization of government support to farmers, reduction of fiscal deficit, maintaining prices through administrative prices mechanism, improving the efficiency of public programs, and breaking the wage price spiral. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए 1, 2 and 3. India continues to be dependent on imports to meet the requirement of oilseeds in the country because farmers prefer to grow food grains with highly remunerative support prices. Most of the cultivation of oilseed crops continues to be dependent on rainfall. Oil from the seeds of tree origin and rice bran have remained unexploited. It is far cheaper to import oilseeds than to cultivate the oilseed crops. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? This answer is option B 1, 2 and 3. Fiscal consolidation is one of the objectives of India's economic policy. Which of the following would help in fiscal consolidation? Increasing taxes, getting more loans, reducing subsidies. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी 1 and 3 only, increasing taxes and reducing subsidies. What is the correct about Agricultural Technology Management Agency? An agency of stakeholders in each district working towards sustainable agriculture development. A society of agriculture graduates involved in spreading awareness among farmers about new research in farm technique. An agency of states working for agriculture extension work. All of the above. This answer is option A. An agency of stakeholders in each district working towards sustainable agricultural development. Consider the following statement about the National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture started in India 2010. National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture aims at enhancing food security and protection of resources such as land, water, biodiversity and genetic resources. National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture is one of very important program under the National Action Program on Climate Change. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी both 1 and 2. Examine the two statements. Assertion: discouraged unemployment is a common feature in Indian agriculture. Reason: India has been relatively slow in implementing farm mechanism. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. (76) Examine the two statements. तो ये भी वही सेम क्वेश्चन है, तो इसका आंसर भी ऑप्शन बी होगा. और वही सेम क्वेश्चन 77 नंबर में भी दिया है, तो इसका आंसर भी ऑप्शन बी होगा. तो ये एक ही क्वेश्चन 3 बार रिपीट हो गया है. With reference to pulses, consider the following statements. India is the largest producer of pulses. India imports pulses to meet its domestic demand. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी both 1 and 2. India is the largest producer of pulses. India imports pulses to meet its domestic demand. The government provides subsidies in various sectors. Which of the following are the effects of subsidies? It increases inflation, it increases fiscal deficit, it decreases export competitiveness. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. This answer option B 2 only. It increases fiscal deficit. In some parts of our country, apart from Rabi and Kharif, jade crop is grown from March to June. Which among the following comes under jade crop? Barley, soya bean, muskmelon, ladyfinger. This answer is option C, muskmelon. Consider the following. Most of the Sikh industries are in large-scale industries. Net worth of an industry is equal to paid-up capital plus reserves. Which of the statement is or are correct? This answer is option B, only 2. Net worth of an industry is equal to paid-up capital plus reserves. Consider the following statements. Achieving minimum agricultural growth is a prerequisite for inclusive growth in India. Increased productivity and technology diffusion is necessary for achieving higher growth in the agricultural sector. Which of the statements is given above is or are correct? This answer option C, both 1 and 2. Under the Companies Act of 2013, every company whose net worth is above 500 crore and net profit of 5 crore should spend at least 2% of its average net profits for the last 3 financial years towards corporate social responsibility activities. CSR provisions shall be applicable to every Indian company only. Which of the statement given above is or are incorrect? तो इसमें इनकरेक्ट पूछा है तो इसका आंसर होगा ऑप्शन बी 2 ओनली, मतलब सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट गलत है. Select the incorrect one or ones about the importance of the Indian textile industry from the given list of items. The sector contributes 8% of industrial production, 4% of GDP and over 15% of country's export earnings. It provides direct employment to over 35 million people, the third largest provider of employment after agriculture. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, क्योंकि इसमें इनकरेक्ट पूछा है तो 1 और 2 नंबर का स्टेटमेंट गलत है. Consider the following statements. The first petrochemical industry in India has started with the establishment of National Organic Chemical Industry Limited in decades 60s. The real importance of petrochemical industry in India is shown with the establishment of Indian Petrochemical Corporation Limited at Baroda. Which of the statements given above is correct? This answer is option C, both 1 and 2. Consider the following statement about Tata Steel. It is the Asia's first privately owned integrated iron and steel plant. It is the first company outside Japan to get the Deming Application Prize in the 2008 for excellence in total quality management. Immediately after the enactment of the Provident Fund law in India, Tata Steel introduced Provident Fund for its employees. It is the first company in the world to get Social Accountability 8000 certification from the Social Accountability International from the USA. Most of the statements given above is correct. This answer is option B, 1, 2 and 3. Consider the following. Ministerial Conference is the highest decision-making body of the WTO, which usually meets once every 2 years. Its headquarters is in Geneva. Which of these statements is correct? This answer is option C, both 1 and 2. Consider the following statement. The UNCTAD is a permanent organization of UNO, United Nations Organization. Its headquarters is located in Geneva. It promotes international trade. Choose the correct one. This answer is option D, all 1, 2 and 3. The UNCTAD is the permanent organization of UNO. Its headquarters is located in Geneva and it promotes international trade. Consider the following regarding the objectives of International Finance Corporation: to provide loans to private sector, to coordinate capital and management, to induce capitalist countries to invest in developing countries. Choose the correct one. This answer is option D, all 1, 2 and 3. To provide loans to private sector, to coordinate capital and management, and to induce capitalist countries to invest in developing countries. With reference to contribution from taxes, consider the following statement. Contribution from direct taxes is more than that from indirect taxes. Corporation tax is the largest contributor. Which of the statements given above is correct? Please answer option C, both 1 and 2. Contribution from direct taxes is more than that from indirect taxes, and corporation tax is the largest contributor. Gross budgetary support means center's contribution to budget, expenditure in budget on social schemes, assistance provided by the center to 5-year plan, none of the above. Please consider option C, assistance provided by the center to 5-year plan. Consider the following statements. Technical barriers to trade are the category of non-tariff barriers to trade under the WTO agreements. TBD have the greatest impact on agriculture due to sanitary and phytosanitary measures designed to protect humans, animals, and plants from diseases, pests, and other contaminants. Which of the statements given above is correct? Please consider option C, both 1 and 2. Consider the following barriers. Anti-dumping practice, packaging, labeling, and making standards, charges on imports, rules of origin, sanitary and phytosanitary conditions. Which of the barriers given above come under the non-tariff barriers of WTO? Please consider option D, all of these. Anti-dumping practice, packaging, labeling, and making standards, charges on imports, rule of origin, and sanitary and phytosanitary conditions. A rise in general level of prices may be caused by an increase in the money supply, a decrease in the aggregate level of output, an increase in the effective demand. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Please consider option D, all of these. An increase in the money supply, a decrease in the aggregate level of output, and an increase in the effective demand. Consider the following statements about the measurement of the inflation. Prices of the items of particular sets are compared to prices of items of 5 years ago. Inflation is measured based on the consumer price index, which measures the change in prices of a selection of goods at retail rates. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? Please consider option D, neither 1 nor 2. To combat rising inflation, RBI has to do which of the following activities? Increase bank rate, sell government securities, increase reserve ratio, all of the above. Is answer option D, all of the above. Increase bank rate, sell government securities, and increase reserve ratio. With reference to the economy, the core inflation is considered to be a better indicator than the headline inflation because core inflation includes certain items that are subject to sudden and short-lived price movements. Core inflation excludes certain items that are subject to sudden and short-lived price movements. Core inflation has a wider basket of items. Headline inflation has a wider basket of items. This answer option B. Core inflation excludes certain items that are subject to sudden and short-lived price movement. Absolute poverty means poverty in terms of absolute number of people, poverty in terms of the basic minimum calorie requirements, poverty in terms of the prevailing price level, poverty in terms of absolute level of unemployment. This answer option B, poverty in terms of the basic minimum calorie requirements. Which one of the following is correct about the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme? Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act was notified in 200 districts in the first phase in 2005. MGNREGA mandates 33% participation for women. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act has been notified throughout the country with effect from 1 April 2008. Both B and C. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी, बोथ बी एंड सी. MGNREGS mandates 33% participation for women, and Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act has been notified through the country with effect from 1 April 2008. Select the incorrect statement regarding the threshold rate of inflation in India. It may be seen as the spillover effects of headline inflation, inflation going beyond the upper limit of the comfort zone. Other sector gets the effects of higher inflation. A and B both. तो इसमें इनकरेक्ट स्टेटमेंट बोला है, तो इसका आंसर होगा ऑप्शन बी, इन्फ्लेशन गोइंग बियॉन्ड द अपर लिमिट ऑफ द कंफर्ट जोन. तो इसी के साथ हमारा आज का ये टेस्ट सीरीज़ कंप्लीट हो गया है. और अगर आप चैनल पर नए हैं तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए और नोटिफिकेशन आइकन पर क्लिक कर दीजिए ताकि आपको सारे वीडियोस के अपडेट्स मिल सकें. अगर आपको वीडियो अच्छी लगी तो लाइक कर दीजिए, साथ ही अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर कीजिए ताकि उन्हें भी हेल्प हो सके. तो हमारा आज का ये वीडियो यहीं तक था. थैंक यू, थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग.